Today I'm briefly going to go over one of the ways I used our tools in a recent investigation to investigate domains related to Octo2's DGA, or domain generation algorithm. These are domains the malware uses for its command and control server, and using a DGA for your C2 server address is similar to being able to change the address of your evil hideout whenever you want. So right now I'm in Iris Investigate. Iris Investigate allows you to, 1, get more context or data on a domain, and then 2, find other domains that might be connected. And I'll show you what I mean. Right now I have 3 domains as my starting point, and those are thanks to Infobox's threat intel team in this Mastodon post. And I want to show you a couple things that I found curious or suspicious. First off, they're all pretty young. They're about a month old, and I know that there are those that are related to these that are even younger. The domain risk score is as high as it can be here in Iris Investigate. As I scroll across, I see a couple different registrars, Namecheap, and this is a Turkish one I don't know much about. The fact that they're using Namecheap, it's cheaper. More malicious actors are going to use things that are cheap, and the Turkish one just makes me suspicious because I haven't seen it very widely used. Continuing to scroll over, I see IP addresses based out of the US, one based out of Russia. So that's a little suspicious. Just want to make sure I look into that a little bit deeper. And then if I scroll all the way over, I see TLDs for the domains. I see info used, which is a cheaper TLD than com. And then if I look at some of these that are related, I see biz and shop and XYZ. So I see the use of cheaper TLDs, and as a result, that is also somewhat suspicious because malicious actors like to use things that are cheap. Another thing that is pretty interesting that I kind of glossed over as we were going across here is this domain as well as this domain have an IP address that's highlighted in blue. And they're highlighted in blue because they're guided pivots, and that means that 500 or fewer domains have this exact same IP address. If I right click on it, I can see that 4 other domains share the specific IP address, and I can see that some of those domains have the same domain name scheme that we're seeing here with our initial 3. So that's interesting. If I come over here, this one has about 6, and if I look down here, 5 of those I haven't seen in my pivot engine, so they would be brand new. And just like that, we've already expanded to a couple new domains that are likely related to these specific domains that we started with. And that's helpful, right? Because now we know more that we should care about and block or watch or communicate to the rest of the cybersecurity community. Using this methodology, we ultimately uncovered 269 domains, and this goes up from August 22nd to October 4th is the time frame here. And yeah, some of these are pretty young, and I'm sure that if we look today, there'd still be some probably being stood up. The nice thing about Iris Investigate is that in the pivot engine, you can see aggregate statistics for all the domains in a group. So if I go to the visualization here, I can see a nice little spider web of all the different connections, and these are the data points that are represented as nodes here. If I zoom in, maybe I want to make sure I'm looking at a little bit tighter correlated group, and I can change the link degree. I'm going to go to 5 here, and I can see things like IP country code. The US is heavily represented here. Some of the others here. There's Germany. If I didn't want to go through and click on the specific node, I could come over to the node inspector. We saw Russia in those original 3, so let's see what that's like. We can see a lot of arms spreading out to the different domains there. If we look at TLDs, we can see XYZ and shop and online, those cheaper TLDs being used, which is somewhat suspicious. And then as far as registrars, we see a couple different variations of Namecheap represented well here in this group. Not something that we should be too excited about, right? Or in fact be suspicious of. So this is a little bit of what we did during our investigation, and this is a pretty quick video, but overall, Iris Investigate is a great place to gain context and find connections to a domain or group of domains in this case, and this is going to enable security practitioners to stay ahead of emerging threats and reduce exposure to risk. So thanks for listening, and look out for another video that's going to be going over the passive DNS side of this.